and on the world in which you live. With this in mind, I am honored to introduce today's speaker, Mr. David Neenan. David is the former chairman and CEO of the Neenan Company, a building construction company which he founded in 1973. He is the creator of the pioneering architecture process which brings building design and construction together under one roof. He has been inducted into the College of Business Everett Real Estate Center Hall of Fame. David is an internationally recognized seminar leader who has conducted workshops on entrepreneurship throughout the United States and in several developing countries. Please join me in welcoming Mr. David Neenan.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, graduates. I started at University of Missouri and flunked out in 3 semesters. So I know this is an accomplishment for you. But after 4 years in the U.S. Army, I came back as an excellent student. And I know you probably took notes and paid attention, so congratulations. It wasn't always that way for me. In any event, after school, if you'll forgive me, I'm going to tell you a story. I immigrated to Australia. I had a really good time over there, but I so much missed my college girlfriend that I ended up traveling back around the world on foot and married her. Sharon is her name, and she was a teacher, and I worked for a construction company. And we lived on $6,000 a year trying to figure out how to save about twice that much money because we were so interested in entrepreneurial pursuits. I had a Volvo that I paid $200 for, and in the winter I would go out and I had 2 bottles with me. One bottle was a bottle of ether, and so I put the hood up, put the ether on the carburetor, and if it would start, then I would shut the hood and run back in the car and drive to work. If it caught on fire, the other bottle was a fire extinguisher, and I'd put out the fire and then start all over again. Those were fond memories for me. My wife got pregnant with twins, and I thought, well, you know, I am really, really responsible now, so I'm going to have to buy some insurance. Everybody has a friend that's in the insurance business, right? In the meantime, I was having all kinds of difficulty in work. Have you ever found yourself irritated or frustrated, maybe with a professor, or with a teacher, or with a job that you've had in the past? Have you ever? Well, that's the way I was. In any event, we sat down, we talked, and the insurance guy kept talking about different types of insurance, and I was thinking about work. Why do all the good ideas come from the top? Why can't they listen to me? What's going on there? Anyway, I had the weirdest experience because I was trying to say, if I bought term, which is cheaper, could I convert to whole life? But I said, if I bought term, could I convert to glue? And it wasn't a word. And I got the strangest warm feeling in the back of my brain. And I tried to make another sentence, and it was also gobbledygook. Now the insurance guy says, listen, you're going to have to pass the physical before we can sell you any insurance. I got him out. I called my sister. I have a sister that's 18 months older than me, and she's a psychiatrist, and she has all of the answers. Her name is Barbara, and she said, you could have a tumor. This is serious. I know a neurologist by the name of Mark Dodge at St. Luke's. Get down there right away. I'll get an appointment for you at 7 in the morning. She did. He did. I had to do all this balancing stuff like that, blood tests, everything you could think of. I had an MRI. I think they called it a PET scan then, brain scan. Came back 3 days later. And I said, I was really worried, but I hadn't had a reoccurrence of this gobbledygook. So I came in and I said, well, what's the deal, Dr. Dodge? And he said, well, I've got good news and bad news. And I said, what's the good news? And he said, we can't find anything wrong with you. And I said, well, then what's the bad news? And he said, the bad news, young man, is you have hit the stone wall. And then he said, oh, excuse me. He started going like, hello. He started moving his hands like that. And I said, well, what options do I have? He said, you have 3. Great. What's option 1? Option 1 is Timothy Leary. And I know you're far too young for that, but Timothy Leary was a Harvard professor. And he said, tune in, turn on, and drop out. Take a drug. Maybe that'll satisfy you. I said, I don't want a drug. That's not going to work. What's option 2? He said, option 2 is the stone wall is very thick. It's very heavy and it's very high, but it has little niches in it. You can find one and just hang out in the niche, maybe become a productive alcoholic, but hang out on the wall. And I said, I don't want to do that. My father had done that. I said, no way am I going to do that. What's option number 3? He said, option number 3 is you keep hitting the wall. And I said, okay, so if I keep hitting the wall, will I get over the wall? And he said, well, maybe, maybe not. It depends upon your persistence. But if you do keep hitting it, you probably will get over. And I said, great. So what's on the other side of the wall? And he said, young man, another wall. And if you're really lucky, you'll hit 5 or 6 of them in your life. And I want you to know right now, I'm going into my 7th. But my life is a miracle, and I have fallen so flat on my face so many times. I have failed early and often and learned that that's how you learn, that learning is more important than earning. So you've got 2 doors. You're about to graduate, right? One door is called freedom. One door is called safety. What do you pick? If you pick safety, I warn you, you will take a Faustian pledge, money in exchange for your soul. You will be going for tranquilizing yourself. Turn the electric blanket up to mother and hang out with zombies. Now, I know you aren't going to do that, right? So you're going to take the other one, which is freedom. If you go for freedom, you're going to go for intensity. You're going to fail your way to mistakes. You're going to fail your way to success. You're going to make lots of mistakes. You're going to earn, but you're going to learn first. Now, how many people here came on a horse to this ceremony? May I see a show of hands, please? Nobody came on a horse. Why not? Do you know when cars were first, I know you might like Bessie, and I know we have lots of horses around, but when cars were developed initially, people called them devil wagons because they were all black, and you know what you could do in the back seats. They would actually put barbed wire around them in protest, but ultimately cars took over, did they not? The next one that I'm thinking about was the internet. News is no longer attached to paper. And this is a global structural change. I'm noticing one more global structural change, and that is something called integrity. You're who you are. If your values and your behaviors are consistent and aligned, you'll do really well. If you forget about that, then you will be outed by the internet. Because the internet, if you're a rascal and your name is Dow Jones, let's say, there could be something on the internet that says, are you ready to do business with Dow Jones? Let me tell you a story. So beware. We are now in an age where integrity isn't an option, it's a requirement. Now, we adults have made a mess of things. I've never seen anything so crazy. Boomers are burning down the house of entitlements to stay warm. But no crisis lasts forever. Bucky Fuller says it's emergence by emergency, and we have an emergency now, in my opinion. Make your mistakes right away because you don't want to make them when you're my age. Failure is a prerequisite for innovation. When you are successful, work is not work. Doing what you love to do is not work. My advice for you is to go for freedom. Pack your bags and leave. Get a job, any job. There are 4 kinds of organizations out there. Fighting organizations, sleeping organizations, frozen organizations, and learning organizations. Try to get with a learning organization. Ask for bonus work. Volunteer for everything that comes up. Learn to fail faster. Have an adventurous spirit. And when you hit the wall, and you will, don't let your spirit under any circumstances be crushed by anything, anytime, or by anybody. Real life alchemy is to learn from your crisis, the pain and the deprivation, turn them into the gold of human connection, accomplishment, and creativity. Don't wait 22 years to discover that you don't have to work for somebody else. The only way to experience your magnificence is the stand you take in the face of these Stonewall challenges. Life is magnificent to those that take this stand, and magnificence is your birthright. I have not lost confidence in you. Have you lost confidence in yourself? Who you think you are may just be a lie because you could be so much more. The best hedge against any kind of trouble is your own talent. And remember, when you do make a lot of money, money does not come with directions. Squeeze that lemon. Thank you so much.